Hi and welcome back to Classic MGB. Now today we're at one of the two big British classic car shows. This one is the Practical Classics Restoration Show at the NEC. We've had a quick look inside the halls, but there's not a moment to spare, so let's get going. This is a real treat at the NEC Classic Car Show. I've run into, what can I say, used car expert Mike Brewer. Mike, what are you up to?
Well, I'm here doing some filming actually for my new TV show, plus doing some live panels on the live stage. It's always nice to meet the audience. So, yeah, it's going to be a busy day for me.
Excellent. You've got a show coming up later in the year at Bicester?
Got two new shows. A live show at Bicester, which is Wheeler Dealer Live, June the 1st. That's going to be an amazing event. Bit like this, come along and kick some tyres. It'd be lovely. And then we've got a brand new series starting later on in the year on Discovery Channel of Wheeler Dealers. And that's another global world tour. Very much excited about that. And then I've got another new series starting on Discovery Networks as well later on the year, which is what we're filming today.
Excellent. Really busy year then.
It seems to be. I keep thinking that this is the end, and maybe I can enjoy my MGB and maybe relax a little bit more and, enjoy my classic car. But every time I think I'm going to do it, they keep telling me they want me to work again.
So if you had to give somebody advice about what classic car to buy, and bearing in mind what this says, what do you reckon? What do you reckon to the MGB?
Well, I mean, MGB is always a fantastic starter classic for anyone. It's the most supported and user-friendly car club, an organisation anywhere on the planet. You know, I think the Mustang Owners Club and the MGB Club might claim they've got the biggest car clubs in the world. I can tell you, I think it's the MGB Club who've got the biggest car club in the world. Yeah. The thing about MGBs, which I always love, and talking about them in live events like this, if you're going to buy one, if you're thinking of buying one, there are 1,000 people that have done it before you, and they are willing to hold your hand and guide you through the process. And that's what's really nice about the MGB community. You've got these people you can lean upon to help you not only find your car, source your car, but help you keep your car on the road. And that's the one good thing about the MGB Car Club. Basically, what I'm saying is, and I've always said this, join the club before you buy your car, because you're likely to find a car you want within the club, and they will look after you.
Yeah. Mike, I won't take up any more of your time. Really looking forward to the new shows.
Thanks very much.
Take care. Have a good day.
See you later.
Cheers. Well, I found a beautiful MGB that's actually as old as I am. It's a 1965 Roadster in black. And do you know what? Price of this car, when it was new, was £855, which is about the same as the average annual wage. Now, it's really funny, the sort of cars that you lust after when you're a kid. I've always loved my MGB-GT, of course, but this is a car that I kind of lusted after in the 70s. It's a Bond Bug. They were only, I think, available in orange, and they're quite remarkable. 3 wheels, but they just look so cool and so 70s. Now, we've all heard of the MGC. It's a 3-litre straight 6, but how many people have heard of an MGB with a Jaguar engine in it? I'm with David Walker, who's actually done his 1964 MGB and put a Jaguar engine. David, tell me why, I guess.
So I went to buy a windscreen for a car I was already converting, and when I got to this guy's house, this was in it, all covered in cardboard boxes. And I asked him, what are you going to do with that? And he says it was his dad. He started the project, but then he died 25 years ago. So the car hadn't been out of the garage for 25 years. He says, I will never sell that car. And then my plan is to do it up so I can take my daughter for the wedding. Anyway, the wedding came and went. He had a little go. It was too big a job for him. Then he rang me up. He says, if you buy it, never contact me again. It's too emotional. So I says, okay. So I went with the trailer, picked it up, took it away, and then I started sending him pictures straight away. And he wasn't replying to me, but I was thinking that at one point he's going to want to see sort of the car finished, So developing it through, And at one point I was thinking, shall I just convert it back to an original car because it's a rare pull handle model? But then I thought, I'm just going to continue with it and honour what his dad started. So when his dad sort of started it, he did a little bit of cutting away, got the engine and gearbox in place, and then, but it was a damaged engine. He was sort of working just to get the sizes and stuff.
That was what, a normal 1800 engine? Or?
No, that was
that was the Jag engine. Oh, okay.
So he'd already done a bit of the cutting away and sort of fitting of it all, but he hadn't done the rest of it. So when you're actually doing a car like this, it's problem solving as you're going along, which luckily I'm quite good at. And it isn't until you start putting like the pulley on the front, the fan belt, and you start running out of space and you're thinking, I've got to get a radiator in there. And then suddenly I've got an electric fan to go on there. So by the time you're doing it, you're thinking, why didn't I just stick to the standard engine? But then when it's completed, you've got a complete unique car. Everybody here, I was a little bit worried the purists might not like it, but everybody loves it. They're all thinking, why wasn't ever done like this new? And the way I've actually designed the car is so it looks like it's been part and it should have come with it. So it's a 1965 low mileage engine. That I found,
it's a genuine sort of Imperial engine.
Yeah, Imperial engine. And that was a key thing that I was trying to find to sort of keep it all connected with it all. I stripped the engine down, did a full overhaul on the engine, new clutch and everything in it, and then refit it all. You have to angle the car, on the engine like this to get it to marry it in. I don't have any ramps. I was using them, the scissor ramps that you can buy with electric drill.
Yeah, tilt
ones. I did it all on that.
Wow, that's brilliant.
And then you start fastening it together. The carbs on it are HD8s, so they're quite big, but it's the only one I can get with the float chambers on both on the right side. Somebody here told me they were out of Rolls Royce.
Really?
I thought it was Austin Healey, but the good thing about having a car on display here is that you learn more about the project of what you're doing. So then we I ran it on the standard back axle, so it's a banjo back axle on it.
Standard MGB one.
Standard MGB one. Yeah. So it's not caused any problems at the moment. I set off in second, so there's no massive torque. I don't race it, even though it's got the stickers on it. I don't race it. I don't do anything like that, If there's a problem and it does something, that I'll worry about that afterwards, The main thing was to get it. I finished it sort of midsummer, so I was trying to get it out for the shows, which I did. It won a couple of shows because it's unique. Yeah. But it's all original, so it's original door pans, original carpet. The guy never took it out in the rain. I did the seat covers. Everything's original. What I tried to do with the car is do a few little hints on Jaguar to it.
Like
so I put the E-type bonnet that I TIG welded into a MG bonnet. I put the Jaguar wheels on it off the lightweight Jag. So there's little things, if you pull up, you hear it first, but then you actually look at it and think, oh, that's different, but it doesn't stand out.
No. So how long did it take?
A year and a half.
A year and a half from nothing to this? From nothing to this.
Wow. I call it a barn find because it was covered in just rubbish for 25 years.
Full-time job or
No, I design saxophones and handmade saxophones. Really? That's what I do. So I've got a problem-solving brain, where I can just go through things. But and then you end up with a car like this that everybody sort of talks about. I've got a lot of Jaguar experts here. The Jaguar Heritage guys came over and they liked it. And I can retire now, because I've achieved what I wanted to achieve.
And what was the biggest challenge doing it?
I think running out of space when I was sort of getting to the final bits, really. You have to design your brackets and make them and weld them to, with minimum spaces. I think there's a 10mm gap on the electric fan. So, it was just getting a bit close at the final thing doing it, So after doing this then, it's obviously you're into doing the work rather than driving it. Sell this one and do something else? No, my aim is it goes after this show, it then goes into a restaurant up near Leeds where, it's a petrol head restaurant. So they've asked for it to be on display for a month in there, which I sort of see as winter storage, it's ideal. Yeah. And then when it comes out, I'm going to try to do more shows and drive it more. At the moment, I've only done 12 mile in her, and I'm listening for every nut and bolt. Everybody knows what it's like when they restore full restoration job. You hear everything. So once I get some mileage on it, start enjoying it more.
Yeah, I mean, you see some cars that are resto mods and the purists go, "Oh," but this just looks lovely. You've done it really sympathetic.
Thank you. That's the point. Is it a prototype that never came out of the factory? Is it something that's the aim, and that's what I've tried to achieve with it?
Now, there aren't actually that many MGBs at the show this year, but I've picked out a couple in the auction worth looking at. This is a 1973 GT. It looks in lovely condition, lovely tan interior. Do you know what they reckon? 10 to 12,000. So I reckon somebody might get a bit of a bargain. And this is the other MGB-GT in the auction. It is again a 1973. It's again up for 10 to 12,000. The difference is it's got Ross-style wheels rather than the wires, and it's in this very period yellowy, greeny sort of colour. For me, I prefer the silvery blue of the other one, but still, this is a lovely car and looks very, very genuine. Well, this must take the prize for being the biggest exhibit at the show. It's a 1922 Gary with a huge total of 30 horsepower. Now, those of you that will remember the 1970s will know that British Leyland, as it was then, used to copy a lot of parts, but a lot of the same parts in the same cars. So you might ask why I'm looking at a Morris Marina. Well, the answer is the engine is still a B-series. It's exactly the same as the MGB. Now, it's not quite the same. The inlet valves are slightly different. The obviously single carb as opposed to twin carb. So it produces about 85 brake horsepower as opposed to the MGB's 95. But still interesting to see that an engine can be flexible enough for a sports car as well as a fairly humdrum saloon. Well, just as I said, there weren't many Bs here. I found a load more, including this Roadster. It's a 1972. It's got mini light wheels. Looks like a nice car, up for 8 to 10,000. Now, some of you might have seen our video on unusual MGBs, and surely this one would probably qualify, even though it's actually an MGC. It's 1968. It's based on a Sebring. It is very much a project, and it's on stilts. Very strange thing. Auctioneers reckon this is 10 to 12 grand as well. Well, this auction is turning out to be a real treasure trove for MGBs, as it turned out. I just found this Roadster. It's a 1962 pull handle, so it's a very early one. And the information says it was been imported from the United States, which is really strange because it is right-hand drive. So I don't know whether it's been converted or whether it went over to the States and came back. Who knows? Again, the auctioneers seem to be very same on their price. This one's 10 to 12,000. We found this MGB Roadster. Now, for me, it's a little bit strange. It's registered as a 1967. That's what the auctioneer's thing says. And we checked it on the computer on the MOT website, and it does say it's a 1967. But if you look at it, there's a few things that make me wonder. First of all, the ride height is a lot higher. Inside the car, the dash is clearly from a car that's much later than 1967, a rubber bumper, sort of facelifted one, and the overdrive switch is on the gear knob. So let me know what you think. So I think we've come to the last MGB in the auction. In fact, the MGB is probably the most popular car in this auction. This one's a red Roadster. It's a 1971. The price, you guessed it, 10 to 12,000. Now, this is the Practical Classics car restoration show, so I had to catch up with editor of Practical Classics, Danny Hopkins. How's the show going, Danny?
I don't really know because it sort of goes past in a great big blur. Certainly there's a lot of people here and there's a lot of smiling faces and a lot of younger people here. Every year I come and the age demographic seems to get a little bit younger, which is what we want because that's the future. But at the moment, I'm running around from pillar to post, enjoying myself, having a great time, reveling in the cars, but more importantly, reveling in the people. Because the conversations I have this weekend are second to none.
Yeah, it's really busy, isn't it? I mean, for me, a classic is like 70s, but there's a lot of 2000 stuff now.
There is, and it always moves forward. I think one of the great things about Practical Classics is that we're always looking to the next generation of classic cars, not just the next generation of people, because that's what hooks the new people in, the cars that you feel nostalgic about. And we're not necessarily about the cars that are on your wall. We're about the cars that are on your mum and dad's driveway as well. So it's real world stuff. And of course, that stuff is really accessible. And that's where young people get into classics first, stuff they can afford.
Yeah. So what, if you were giving advice, you got massive experience in Practical Classic. I know many years you've been editor anyway.
Yeah.
You know, what advice would you give people?
Okay, I'll give you I've been editor for 15 years, and that's why I've got a grey beard. I've actually been on the mag for 25 years,
Right.
which is mad. My advice for getting into classic cars is choose a car that you're going to love. Choose a car that means something to you, maybe something that you remember from being a kid, something you wanted, or mum and dad had, or a family member had. Then go and see the club, talk to them, get in one and drive it and enjoy it and see what you feel like, because there's nothing worse than buying something and then thinking it's not quite right. And then once you've really decided on the car you want, go out there and get it and get the best one you can. Also, don't be afraid to pick up a spanner. I think there's no better way of getting to know a classic car than by working on it. And getting to know it, getting under the bonnet, get the grease under your fingernails. You bond with the car in a different way in that way. So yeah, get the best one you can, but don't be afraid to fix it.
Excellent. And a quick word about MGBs.
I love them. I've had two. The last one I had was I found it on eBay for £1,000, and right at the end of the description it said former property of Lord Montague of Bewley. And I bought it, restored it on the magazine. It was current Lord Montague, the younger Lord Montague's first ever car. And I took it back to Bewley, and he sat in it and drove it. And he said the most aristocratic thing anybody has ever said to me about a car ever. I said, did you like the car, Lord Montague? And he went, yes, I love the car. I said, back seat, it's just the right size for my whippets.
That is upper class.
That's proper class, that is. Yeah. But it was an LE, last of the line LE.
Okay, yeah.
And that car now has been exported to the States, I believe. But I loved working on that car. I loved doing it up. And honestly, if you want a definition of a practical classic, it's an MGB-GT for me. I love them all day long. The other thing that happened with that car, which is one of the greatest moments of my automotive life, I went to see Don Hayter in it. And we had a lovely time. He signed inside the boot lid, but he also came downstairs with some of the blueprints from the original drawings, and he rolled them out on the table.
Brilliant.
All the hairs on the back of my neck stood up on end. What an experience that was. What a man. Well, sadly missed. But yeah, MGB, love them. I'd have another one in a heartbeat.
Danny, thank you so much. I won't hold you up anymore. Have a great show, and many thanks for all the work you do on the magazine and the show.
Thanks very much indeed. Cheers.
Now, of course, one of the difficult things with classic cars is finding people to do the work, and that's becoming more and more scarce. So I've caught up with John Pitchforth from Heritage Skills Academy, who's hoping to make that right. John, tell me about what you do.
Well, we started about 2018. We realised that the industry was running out of new, fresh talent. The industry was turning around to us and saying, well, it stops with us. Nobody's interested. The youngsters they all want to play on computers. We said, well, actually, I don't think they do. So we started with one company, a Rolls-Royce specialist, P&A Wood. They wanted 8 apprentices. We interviewed about 120 people. They came up with 8 that they wanted to take on. And then 6-7 years later, we've got 200 apprentices in training. We train for 160 independent specialists. We've got interest from all over the world going, how can you do this? And I have to say that they're the best apprentices I've ever worked with.
Excellent. So what sort of skills are you teaching the apprentices?
Well, we do old school mechanical and old school coach building. So it's about fixing things rather than replacing things. We teach from the turn of the century right up to about 2005. So we cover all of the eras, and we have examples of how the systems and the kit and equipment and the technology has changed and evolved. And believe it or not, it hasn't evolved a lot. We may have gone on to electronics, but back in the turn of the century, there were electric cars, and they had Hemi heads. They didn't have overhead cams, but they had twin cams. And it's very, very, it's fascinating seeing how things have evolved.
Absolutely. But of course, it's not just apprentices. I mean, I've got an MGB-GT, and to be honest, I'd love some help in the mechanical side and be able to do things on my car. And I think a lot of people do. Colleges used to do that, but they don't really do it. So do you offer anything like that?
Yes, we've been offering for the last 2 years about courses which are about, the first one was how to save £20,000 on your first classic car.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. So that course costs 300 quid and saves you about 19.5 grand on average. But nobody took it up. They all come to us with a card and go, it's absolutely nothing like what I thought it was, and it's going to cost me this much. So we start off with the course, what to look for, what to avoid, all the secrets of where to touch and feel and and get the real vehicle. And then beyond that, we try and give people the confidence to take their cars out because they have them. But what happens if I get a puncture? How do I jack it up? How do I solve an ignition problem? I know the brakes need changing, but I might kill myself if I touch them. So all of those things, we give them confidence.
I think that's what it is. It is about confidence, you know, and thinking actually it's only nuts and bolts. It's not that difficult. I mean, I'm a great one to talk because I do pass it on to an expert a lot of the time, but I'd love to be able to do it myself.
Well, they're very popular and we get really good feedback on how people enjoy them. But once they've done that, they go, well, actually, can you teach me about how to do take my engine apart and measure it and know when to change something or what to do about it or how to put, piston rings on, how to do big ends and how to do all of this stuff we teach. So really, we'll respond to any demand. We will try and put a course together. And if there are enough people, we'll run it. We're based at 2 locations. One is Bicester Heritage, which is just near Bicester Village. And the other one is Brooklands Museum. At Bicester Heritage, we do the old school mechanical courses and the old school mechanical apprenticeships. And at Brooklands Museum, we do coach building and fabrication and welding. So they're both very unique, but they're very practical, but very involved. And we find that any of our apprentices that have trained in the old school way of doing things absolutely fly when they come into the modern world. Yes, but if they come from the modern world, we have to start them again, even if they're qualified.
Yeah, I can believe that. So how do we get in touch with you?
You can go to our website, and if you're interested in an apprenticeship or you know someone who is, they can make an application on there. And if you're an employer or and you're looking for an apprentice, again, you can contact us via that. Or if you're looking for a course, there's a section on the website about that as well.
Excellent. Well, we'll put the website in the description below. And John, best of luck. Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, one of the exciting things that happens at the Resto show is that the National Car Club Awards are presented. We'd like to offer our congratulations to the MG Car Club for winning the Judges' Special Recognition Award for the Run or Event of the Year for the MG 100 Cavalcade in 2024. A fantastic achievement and a welcome reward for all the hard work involved. Now, as always, the MG Owners Club has always had a great presence at these shows, and this year's no exception. And they're also partnering up with Adrian Flux, their insurance provider, and we talked to them and Nick Wilkinson last year about the scheme. So how's it going, Nick?
Yeah, it's been going great. I mean, it was kind of a very last-minute kind of launch, so we had a lot to do in a very short amount of time, but it's still worked on. The benefits and everything remains the same, but the scheme itself is still, we're constantly working on newer steps and newer kind of incentives for members, and yeah, so far so good.
Excellent. And a little bird tells me that you're running a competition.
Yeah. So I think, as it is well known within the Owners Club, it's around about March, April time, everyone starts getting the cars out and giving them a clean and a once over. And around about November, December time, they kind of put them back in storage. So, yeah, we're doing a tour. The club themselves are doing a tour, and we're offering a place for one winner and a plus one to go on one of the MGOC tours for next year, UK and Ireland, of their choice. All covered within the prize.
Excellent. So, the website, we'll put it in a link below.
Yeah, on the website, on the club social media. We're looking to get an input in the magazine as well, and yeah, pretty much every avenue is accessible.
Excellent. Well, having been on one of the tours last year, went to the Isle of Man, some videos about that, absolutely brilliant time. So I'd recommend it to anybody. And I've entered. Nick, thank you very much and best of luck.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So there you go, that's the Practical Classics Resto show for another year. We've met lots of interesting people, fantastic guys, all really willing to talk to you. The stands have been really good, as always. We've done 10,000 steps, so we're all pretty tired now. What I would say is if you're looking to come to a show, this one and the one in November are both brilliant shows, but make sure you wear comfortable shoes. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like, give it a share, and consider subscribing to the channel, because all of those sort of things help. As always, many thanks for watching, and take care.